All right, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to me. This will be explicit and clear. The faster we go, the better your quality of life is over the weekend. That's it. That is it. I will tell you, this is the first time I've ever done this DBQ, and I did my annotations during first period while I was covering a class. Shoot me in the face. And I thought it was pretty hard to come up with groups. And if you didn't annotate the documents correctly, you were going to misunderstand the documents. And that's not good. However, we're going to go through the documents together to make sure you got what you needed. Hopefully we can group pretty quickly, and then hopefully I can get your thesis, your contextualization, and start your body paragraph for you here in class. In case you didn't hear, this is all contingent on how well you did your annotations on your documents. So the faster we move in class, the better your quality of life is this weekend. Okay, so let's begin, please. Everyone should have, you need 2 sheets of paper and you need your prompts. Hopefully we'll use one for planning our groups and the next one will be used for starting the essay. I cannot stress, the faster we move, the better your quality of life is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to be explicitly clear. This weekend, you are writing the rest of this essay. Is everyone clear on that? You are writing it. You are turning it in as soon as you arrive on Monday morning. Not Monday morning, but like when you come to class. So, the entire essay. So, you will be writing 3 body paragraphs, hopefully. If not, you are writing the whole entire essay. That means outside evidence. That means all of your analysis of the documents. And 3 happies, yes? So, before we get going, I do want to make a couple of notes. Okay, so your thesis paragraph includes your thesis and your contextualization. Everyone is clear about that, yes? Hopefully we'll have that done together. So, body paragraph. This is body paragraph 1 through 3. You need to have restated prompt with introduction of specific group.
Please pardon the interruption. Please send any students ready to make up their exams to
Okay.
the center. Thank you.
So the first thing you do is that. Now, in the rest of it, you need to have 1 piece of outside evidence. You need to have 1 happy. Okay, so you need to do either 1 historic, 1 audience, 1 purpose, 1 point of view. Then you also, for all docs in this paragraph, you need to analyze. Analysis, not summary. So what that means is every doc is addressed. Okay, so what is happening in the 3 body paragraphs that you will probably be writing this weekend by yourself? You in every paragraph. So you're doing this how many times? Times 3. You need to have 1 piece of outside evidence. You need 1 example of a historical evidence, audience, purpose, point of view. And what I would say, the audience of document 4 is, yes? Because we are trying to make it as easy as we possibly can for the grader to give us the points. The point of view of document 6 is, make it explicit, make it clear. Okay, and then you need to address all the docs that we are going to group for that specific assessment. Is everyone clear on the expectations for every single paragraph? This is what you are doing. I just want to make that as clear as possible. Everyone good? Okay, I think you want help with this, yes? So why don't we take out our documents and just make sure we have pulled out the most important. Okay, document 1. Who can summarize? Every hand should be up for when I ask you to summarize, because that's the easiest part. Henry.
The king of the Congo was asking the king of Portugal to stop having the merchants like take their people.
Yes, stop having their merchants take their people. There's a couple things you had to notice from this piece. You can give me one. What is something you had to notice? Come on. I'm making it so they can't read my notes. What is something you should have Hi, you are wasting your time. I need to make sure you pulled out the most important pieces of information. You want me to get to writing faster. The faster you volunteer, the faster we move, the less writing you have to do on your own. What do you got, Ansley?
It says that their countries being depopulated.
Well, yeah, because they're losing people to slavery. Guys, what is the big thing you should have noticed? First of all, it's the kingdom of it is King Nzinga. What should you have known? Kingdom of Congo. We've talked about them. They're unique. What did they do? Scott.
Hi, this is from Mr. Ryan.
Yeah.
They like give their people to Portuguese.
No. Parker.
Africa is or Congo is powerless against Portugal.
No, they're not powerless. Prior.
This like might be wrong. But
That's okay. I'm happily.
Convert to Christian.
They do convert to Christianity. And why do they convert to Christianity, Friar?
So the British will trade with them.
It's not the British.
Like,
Well, who's the king they're talking to? The Portuguese. Okay, so why do they convert? The Portuguese will trade with them and respect them. Because if they're of the same religion, they're going to have a little more, hopefully, mutual respect. Eventually, what goes on with the Kingdom of Congo? They're one of the only nations in the history of Africa to do it. They fight back. They actively fight, and they use Denmark, and they go against Portugal. That's pretty bomb. Also sounds like a great piece of outside evidence. So if you don't have this, you should probably be writing it down. And it seems like I'm a little annoyed. I am. So, what you should have known by seeing Kingdom of Congo is that they convert to Christianity to attract traders and be seen as equals. Second thing they do is that the relationship is going to deteriorate significantly, and they're eventually going to fight with the Kingdom of Portugal, which is pretty damn unique. All of this is technically outside information, by the way. In this piece, remember, Joseph, what is the thesis, what is the prompt of this DBQ?
An argument that evaluates the impact of the slave trade on social structures.
There you go. Develop an argument that evaluates the impact of Atlantic slave trade on the social structures of Africa and the Americas. So what about this document connects back to social structures? What is something unique from this document that ties back to social structures? Catherine?
it could be the depopulation.
No, it's not the depopulation. There's a line in this that's super unique. Ansley?
They're trying to be equal to Portugal.
No, none of that is even referenced. That's all outside evidence. Catherine?
Conversion to Christianity.
That's not in this paragraph. They refer to priests and stuff like that, but they don't talk about why they did it because it's more of a political and economic reason. Scott?
Is it like how they're taking slaves of like different social classes?
Thank you. Are they taking the poor? Are they taking the criminals? Are they taking the war captures? No, they're taking the wealthy sons of nobles. Ladies and gentlemen, this whole thing is based on social structure. So when we start devaluating a social structure by stealing them as slaves, that's a problem, yes? These are the types of things you need to be pulling out when you're going through your documents. If you're not seeing this, this is a problem. Are we having problems here? Yeah, we are. Document 2, summarize it for me, Gattaky.
It's laws made in North American colonies saying what was the children of interracial marriages.
Perfect. Well done. What is something you should have seen, Chris? Well, no, I mean, that's pretty explicitly. But what is something unique that you should have pulled out of this, Chris?
Women are having children?
Women were having children?
No, women are like, they have the choice to have
No, they don't. No, they don't. What do you got, James?
So if the dad's a slave and the mom is free, the child's free.
Yes, if the mother has the child, then the child is free. So their freedom is based on the mother's status. It's a little unique. Fine. Guys, where are these documents happening? Let's address it. Hello, Micah. But specifically where? There's source 1 and source 2. What's the first source? No, they're absolutely not. Virginia was never controlled by the Spanish. Look at document 2, dude. Look at it. It's Virginia. Who controls it? No. This is 1662, dude. What language are we speaking, Micah? We're speaking what language? Who controls the colonies? 1662, it's the British. How do the British feel about the mixing? They don't. What's the proof in the piece for our...
The doubts or the children got by English.
No. What is it, Andrew?
They have to pay
Double the fines. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to know that the British hate mixing and they're charging huge increases. Okay, so let's look at the second one. What is unique about that one in the context of the first one? What do you got, James?
They allow it, they don't make them do
There you go. And who is it?
French.
The French. They're allowing. Now, James, give me some outside evidence. Why would the French be okay with the mixing?
Don't they leave their wives at home?
There you go. Because the French are coming to the Americas to do what?
Settle. No,
No, because if they were settling, they were bringing their wives.
don't they get like the fur?
Yeah, they're here for fur trapping. Absolutely. James, if you just say they don't bring their wives, you don't get the point. But if you say they didn't bring their wives because they're coming here to do fur trapping, you get the point. Okay, it's those type of details that are the difference. So you know the information. You just got to make sure you put it down. Perfect. Document 3. Are we seeing these types of things? Document 3. Summarize it for me, Virginia.
So it's from a king, or I mean, a king of a village to a British diplomat. So it's basically about how he won't necessarily not sell slaves from other places that aren't his
What? You're
village.
confusing me by your not, might, won't.
I'll say that, restate that there. So he said that he wouldn't sell his people of his village, but if he took over another village, he would sell them.
Excellent. What is the big important turn of phrase in this piece that is super interesting, and if you ignored it, you are screwed on the context of this essay? Micah? No. There is one phrase that is in this document that you should have smacked you in the face, that if you did not acknowledge it, you will not interpret this document and see the severity of it. Joseph?
Wait, what is it? But if I find a king, kill him.
No. What do you got, Izzy?
Slavery is good not only for the white men but for also.
Nah, I could see your point. That's fine. I would accept that one, but there's another big one, Andrew.
Unless I kill them.
Yes. Go ahead, Andrew.
Unless I kill them or sell them, they will grow strong and kill my people.
There you go. Slavery has to be checked by both the English and the Africans. It is not just about collecting assets. There's a balance to it. Just because you have a lot of slaves doesn't mean you are going to retain power. Yes. Okay. What I have down on mine, hopefully you have on yours, is Africans see slaves as a sign of power, but too many can cause collapse. Okay. What does that show us? What does that show us? Come on now. Come on. Think about it. What does that show us? Come on now, Taylor. What do you think? Oh, geez. Help me out, Henry.
So they kind of need the British to sell the slaves to so that they won't do any other rebel.
Guys, it's a delicate system, yes? Okay, slavery is one that requires balance. Okay, I guess we'll come back to that one here. 4, flip it 4. Summarize the document for me. What do we got? Help me out, Michael.
It is, Miguel, well, it's from this, called this, it says, from the Spaniard,
Oh, I don't need you to read it to me. Summarize what the piece is. I don't care about Miguel Cabrera.
there's a Spaniard holding a black woman in his hands.
Who do you think that black woman is? And it's not a black woman, it's a mulatto. Hence why it says Spaniard black woman, a mulatto. How often do you see grown men put their hands on a smaller woman? What do you think the pose indicates, dude? You have no idea. There's no relationship between these 3 people. You think these random, completely random people showed up? Oh, Michael. I am not thrilled. This is an easy one, and it should not be this hard. Cassidy? Yeah, it's his child, dude. Who else would it be? How many times do you have grown men touching little girls like this? That's weird, right? It's his daughter. What does it symbolize, Cassidy? Yeah, it's an interracial. Okay? Now, where is this being done, Cassidy? Well, his name's Miguel Cabrera from the Spaniard, so. Latin America. Is this okay or not okay? Does he look like he's embarrassed?
No.
No, it's. Why is it okay in Spain? Is he?
Because they're there for economics for silver mining.
There you go. So right now, in case you're not counting score, which would be completely delusional of you, what 3 countries have we discussed mixing with so far? What 3 countries, Taylor? Spain, England. So what does France think of mixing? Spain, England. There you go. You should be keeping track of it. Immediately, you should have pulled out what outside evidence, and you should have slapped it on this piece of paper and been like, yes, I'm getting the outside evidence point. This is wonderful. Got a key. Encomienda system. You should have immediately written down, or you could have, if you wanted to be super fancy, say what, Henry? Costa painting, which is how they regulated who was in each of the hierarchies. Okay? Either of those 2 things. By the way, that's outside evidence. These are the types of things. When you see things, you need to be writing them down and acknowledging. As you can see on my paper, as soon as I saw it, I wrote down encomienda system and put a nice box around it, so when I come back to it, I'll remember, like, oh, hot damn, I remember that. Here we go. 5. Summarize it for me, Logan.
So talking about the old and new world and how they have different, like how they're different from each other, but they're still ruled people.
Okay, thank God that's the summary. I'll take it. Yes, you're not wrong. What are you supposed to pull from this? What are you supposed to be pulling from this? Neil. No. No, it's not talking about it's like fighting with Spain or anything. Yeah, Treaty of Tordesillas is political. Like, no. All right, what should we have pulled from this? Catherine.
Maybe that in the Americas there's mixed races and different types of people in Spain.
Yeah, the biggest thing you should have pulled out is the support of the encomienda system, the fact that they're supporting the mixing, and are they seeing it as a positive or a negative?
Positive.
There's a huge positive there's a huge positive connotation. Thank you so much. I just couldn't get it out. And my migraine's back. Thank you so much. It is fully on. Connotation is positive. What phrase in this tells us? Taylor. Perfect. New, many, and different. That is a positive connotation. That is the positive. So, is Spain anti-mixing? No, we already knew that because we're smart, but this document proves it. So, talking about mixing is something we should do in our essay? Yeah, all these documents are coming about it. Here we go. 6. Summarize it for me. What do you got? Sophia. I'm just looking for a summary.
Okay, yeah. So, women in the 1500s were kind of sold and like traded, kind of similar to slaves.
Okay, no, you gotta clean up that interpretation. We gotta clean it up. Scott.
It's like interracial marriages, like have temporary benefits for the women.
Okay, there's a little more to that, guys. Come on now. What do you got, Hayden?
Isn't it basically just kind of talking about like how temporary marriages have like evolved over time, like and how the roles of like men and women have like changed over time?
Sort of. What is a temporary marriage? After reading this, you should be able to tell me what a temporary marriage is. Parker.
Like so merchants go and then they marry the indigenous, then they can have more connection there and trade more.
There you go. It gives them trading rights into that community. So that's what it's a marriage of convenience is what we would say today. Does that make sense? Not a temporary marriage, but a marriage of convenience. Like you marry someone because they're super wealthy and they'll pay for your college. Yeah. Sugar daddy. Sugar mama. Those are what we would be considering. Who expected me to bring that topic up today? Anyway, those would be temporary marriages or marriages of convenience, which is how we typically refer to it. So these marriages are happening all throughout history in order to gain rights of men into areas so they can trade. Okay? So what is the big thing you should have pulled out from this? So women are getting married to other outside men. So indigenous women are marrying, for our context, white men, because we're doing the Atlantic slave trade. Does that make sense? So we're obviously talking about European. So indigenous are marrying white men. What are we learning from this, Hayden?
Is it that like the women are kind of also benefiting from it? Like it's not just like.
Okay. What is the thesis? What is the prompt? What is the prompt, Hayden?
It's like an argument that evaluates the impact of the Atlantic slave trade on the social structure.
Okay, so tie it back to what?
The Atlantic slave or the social structure.
Social structure. So looking at this article, because you're not wrong, but we need to tie it more directly to the prompt. Social structures. What is happening in this piece? Michael, you better turn around because I am livid about that crappy answer you gave me a couple minutes ago. So you're kind of wandering around is annoying and infuriating a deep part of me, yes? Take it seriously. Let's go. I have no tolerance for it. Hayden, what would be tying it to the social component?
Like how when like the merchants come and they like come to the places where the slaves are and they are elevating the women's status and like their status.
Are they elevating? Look at the piece. Someone come up with evidence from that piece that says what they are. Prior.
Like 3 women entered such marriages for economic or social reasons.
Okay, but are they equal? Are they elevated? Socially, are they elevated? Look at the piece. It tells you very blank, very flat out. And if you miss that piece, you miss the entire point of why the document is included. James.
African wives and daughters born in marriages to European traders to exploit. So doesn't that mean they're
There's a very key phrase you're literally skipping. Got a key. No, that's in some regions, not all places. And severely in places. Guys, I don't know. Sophia.
African wives and
No.
daughters were
not assured acceptance in the family.
Okay, because? Scott?
They were marginal.
They're marginal! They're marginal. However, they are marginal people. What does marginal mean? Yeah, they're on the outskirts, guys. Do you want to be a marginal population? No, you want to be with a centralized location. You want to be with the people, the most popular people. You want to be the most successful, like here in America. Like you want to be in the wealthy, middle to upper class. Yes? Okay? Now it would be awesome to be in the ultra rich. Yes, I could live that life. I thought I was going to win Powerball. Didn't. What the hell? It's fine. However, you want to be included in what we consider the American dream. Yes, the nice house, the nice cars, nice vacations, all of those things. Everyone who doesn't have that are kind of on the marginal outskirts, the poor, the pushed to the side, the one the society outcasts. So do you want to be marginal? No. So the fact that these people who have married, these outsiders, become marginal, does that increase their social ranking or decrease? So does it help or hurt them? It hurts them, but they do it why? It hurts them socially, but helps them
Gain access to markets.
economically. It helps them, but hurts them socially. Is there a difference? Yes. Okay. So helps them socially, hurts them socially, helps them economically. If you did not pull that out of that document, guys, you were going to get that one wrong. Did we see that? I assume not if it took us that long to get there. 7. I will tell you, 7 I had the hardest time with. Obviously, I can read a map. I know what the map says. But getting back to the prompt, what is the prompt, Friar?
Develop an argument that evaluates the impact of the Atlantic slave trade on the social structures of Africa and the Americas.
Social structures. So looking at this map, and the map is showing us. Chris, summarize this map.
It's showing the different areas of national domination of slave trade.
There you go. Yeah, it's where all the slaves are going and the matriculation and how many people are going and all that stuff. Looking at this map, tell me something social. Because remember, what is our prompt talking about? Social. So look at this map and tell me something social that you can see after looking at this map. And that's what you should have done. What do you got, Andrew?
There's more in South America, so it'll influence them more.
Influence what?
The society.
Sort of. That's more of a culture thing than a social thing. Come on, look at it. And what can we see socially? Think about it. It has to be done because this has to be tied to the prompt anyway, Friar.
The slaves come in and they go to the bottom of the social structure, so the rest of them are pushed out.
Yes! Nice! Absolutely. So who is going to be improved? So who's just above slaves? And when we talk about social structures in the Americas, Friar, starts with an I, girl.
The what?
Starts with an I.
The indentured servant.
Oh no.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. So who is going to improve in ranking? The indigenous are going to be better off. Now, are we saying that they are well better off? No, it's still treated like completely third-class citizens, but they are going to be better treated than the slaves. Nice job, Friar. What else can we see? Come on now. There's another thing that you had to note. Remember, we're looking at this map, we're looking at it socially. What do you got, Ansley?
Well, maybe since all of them are going to Latin America, and in Latin America is where they're most accepted, so maybe the more they're
No. Henry?
Like it's gonna be a massive population decrease on the west coast
With a little more clarity.
of Africa.
Yes! So, we're going to have a massive population decrease. And who do we think are most of these slaves? What sex, Henry?
The pop before.
Sex.
Male. Sorry.
Male. So, if a lot of males are being pulled out of the western coast of Africa, that's going to create what social problem? Hey, Izzy? Polygamy can pop up. Looking at this map, you could have talked about polygamy. You could have talked to unbalanced sex ratio that will create social population. No, because it's inferred. Now, if you're going to say polygamy is a huge problem, and what will be the future of, no, you can't just say generically Africa. And what will become Nigeria, then yes. But just saying polygamy is not going to score. Do you see how important it is to tie it back to the prompt?
Yes.
When you're going through your documents, you constantly have to think about whatever the prompt is asking you. Did you do a good job doing that last night? No. Okay, flip it. Let's make a chart. We need groups. We need docs. And we need how it answers the prompt. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you, I thought this was very hard to come up with groups. I know second period really struggled with it. And I will say they did a little bit better on their documents than you did. So here we go. We need 3 groups. I'm telling you right now that I will not accept Africa and Americas. That is like the laziest, shittiest answer. Okay? We need 3 groups. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. In this essay, you have to refer to both Africa and Americas. If you only talk about the Americas, you didn't answer the prompt. Does that make sense? You need to refer to both. If you only talk about Africa, you didn't answer the prompt. You should naturally be going back and forth between Africa and America. Is everyone clear on that? Okay? So you have to answer both, and I think naturally we'll get there. What is a group that we can use here? What is a group we can use? Andrew?
Effect on woman.
So you just don't want to give, like, because it's not a place of power that you're coming from in arguing something. Does that make sense? Impact on women. Like, we want to curtail it to the prompt to a degree. Does that make sense? Okay. What do you got, Cassidy?
Acceptance of intermixing.
Ooh. Okay. I like it. We can go with it. I like it. Acceptance of interracial marriages. Even though not all of them are marriages, but we're just going to go for it because we're in high school. People would never have sex outside of marriage. Absolutely. So, acceptance of interracial marriages. I like it. Okay. Do you see how that's more curtailed to the topic at hand than just a kind of a generic thing? It gives her a place of power of arguing a topic and saying, women. You see what I'm seeing here? Okay. What do you got,
I
Ansley?
would say most socially accepted. That's kind of similar.
What?
Like,
Are we working on different groups?
well, no, like we were looking at to have the most like social structure. You know, like they're most socially.
No, that's too close to this. Okay, then we need a new topic. Let's get our topics and we'll organize our documents. What do you got, Catherine?
Maybe social structures?
No, that's a terrible answer. You can't just say social structures when it says social structures in there. We need it more specific and more curtailed to this topic. Acceptance of interracial marriages. As you read through the thing, there's tons of references to intermarriages. That's specific to this document because it's talking about social structures. Come on now. Cassidy, killing it.
Slaves?
Oh, no, that's too generic. Cassidy! There is a bunch on slaves, but let's come up with an argument about the slaves. You gotta come from a place of power. Saying slavery is not a place of power. Using something in regards to what we're talking about is. Neil, what do you got?
Do you do like power gap?
No, it's too vague. If you can put a little more context into that, I'll take it. As you saw, I had a good pause. It's not a bad answer, but it's too vague. Parker.
Like economic exploitation.
Oh, okay. I like it, but I'm going to clean it up for you and save us. Consequences of economic arrangements on social status. See how that ties very nicely? Okay, and it cleans it up and it gives us a position to argue from. Yes? Okay, that's why that one works better, but it's essentially what you're saying. I just cleaned it up and I just didn't feel like waiting for you guys to figure it out. Okay, we need a third group. What do we got? Oh no, come on now. Some of you are just staring off blankly and you already know how I feel when people are unprepared to engage in the conversation in which is in play and sitting there doing nothing. No, that's too vague. Sophia, what do you got?
Well, it's bad now, but exploitation of the slaves, like the result of it.
Guys, what is the prompt?
Social structure.
Of Africas and the Americas. So right now we have the acceptance of interracial marriages, the consequences of economic arrangements Religion? No. There's like no religion.
That says about like Catholics or something.
Social imbalance caused by slave trade. You're welcome. Okay, let's, on the bottom, we need to write 4, 5, 6, 7. Go. All right, we got to group them. Why did I write the numbers on the bottom? I got to mark them off as I use them. All right, acceptance of interracial marriage. What do we got? Cassidy. Ooh, document 4. Let's look at 4. Do we accept?
Yeah.
Okay. 4 and which one? 5. Do we accept 5? Nope.
6 or 2.
I thought 6 worked better
Yeah.
with 2.
Okay, let's walk away if we can't come up with a clean. Let's start at 1 and make a home for it. Let's start at 1 together. Where can we put 1? Consequences of economic. Okay, yeah, that would be a good one. You can really argue that one really well for that. Perfect. Let's look at 2. Oh, absolutely. Where else would you put it, right? All right, 3.
Social imbalance.
I think social imbalance is a really good place for that one. Because social imbalance doesn't always mean you go down. Sometimes you can go. There you go. So, and I think that's a really interesting argument to make that, don't you think? It's interesting. Which is why they included it, because it's interesting and it's not typically what you'd expect. 4, do we agree with 4 where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where else would we put it? 5. Interracial? We're going with acceptance? Okay.
I don't think that maybe social imbalance has consequences.
Okay, yeah.
I think you can argue either way which one is easier, and we need to make a decision and move on because we have so much other things to do. We okay with it in acceptance?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. 6.
So 6, I feel like would be social imbalance. Well, no, but it would be economic. Oh yeah.
Oh, this is absolutely 6, yeah. Okay, 7. Guys, where does it have to go? Yes, you cannot have one document on its own. If you're by yourself, are you in a group? No, you're by yourself. Okay, so you have to have a buddy. You can't be in a group unless you have a buddy. A document can't be a group unless you have a buddy. Okay, here we go. How it answers the prompt. So I'm going to look at my prompt to give myself a nice congratulatory head start. The Atlantic slave trade. Slave trade's impact on social structures in Africa and the Americas will increase the acceptance of interracial marriages. That's not how you spell interracial, but we're going to just go with it. Marriages around the world. Because we're just trying to make it a little bit more finesse, okay? All right, next one. So, the Atlantic slave trade. Impact on social structures in Africa and Americas. Will show the consequences of economic arrangements will show the consequences of economics arrangement on the lives of the people who make them. Do you see how we're just making it a little bit nicer? Yes. Kind of curving it just a little bit, but the group meaning is still the same. All right, and finally, the Atlantic slave trade. How much time do I have? Okay. trade impact on social structures in Africa and the Americas will cause social imbalances in both locations, causing massive changes to society. Oh, we added a little bit more finesse to that one. Done. Okay. We're going to start going on our thesis and then our contextualization, and then we're going to start writing. Friendly reminder, we are all aware that your thesis and your contextualization is in your thesis paragraph, yes? Then in your body paragraph, you restate the prompt with we just wrote for you, yes? We've already done it. You need to have outside evidence in the paragraph. You need to have one happy, and all the documents in the paragraph need to be assessed, not summarized. Okay, let's do it. I'm moving as fast as I can, you know.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I can. I can hear a lot of things.
I really whispered that though.
You didn't.
I didn't.
Hayden, there's nothing about you that screams I whisper well. I mean that with love, but despite the economic gains, slavery provided to Europe the economic, the impact, the impact of the Atlantic slave trade had on the acceptance of interracial marriage, consequences of making economic decisions, economic arrangements, I want arrangements, don't hate me, I'm doing this in real time. Economic arrangements on social status and the imbalance of society by the depletion of resources by the slave trade. Yeah, see how I fancified that up? Nice. Done. That's all I have to do for my thesis. Broke it into groups, broke it into 3 arguments, lay it out. All right, now I have to deal with contextualization. This is really important. Please listen, because one thing I think our first DBQ really failed on is contextualization. So, while you're writing your essay this weekend, you really need to have near you your Hemmler explanation. I haven't spent much time in class on it because I'm trying to use our time as efficiently as possible, but this is a huge resource for you. If you just want to cry about your DBQ, I would watch his video and you'll feel so much better, sort of. So let's talk contextualization. Contextualization, explain the historical context before, during, or after the time period of your prompt. The best way to earn this point is to do contextualization before. It's the easiest. Don't try to do during or after. That's stupid. It should be about 50 to 100 years to the prompt's time period. It has to be relevant. It needs to relate to the prompt. You should use 2 vocab terms. So using names, dates, location, champa rice. Okay, that's what I'm talking about by vocab. Something you had to learn in this room is the only thing that'll score. Okay, that are relevant to the prompt and occur before the prompt's time period. You should spend 2 to 3 sentences defining those words and showing how they set the stage for your argument. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is contextualization for an essay? That is about developing an argument that evaluates the impact of the Atlantic slave trade on the social and structures of Americas and Africas. What would be contextualization? Got it, Kay? Yes! Yes! It's Christopher Columbus opening the Columbian Exchange in
1492.
Okay, what's another term we could use and throw out there to show us some sophistication that we know what we're talking about? How did Christopher Columbus get about getting here? Henry.
I was just say triangular trade.
So that's not going to facilitate this because it's happening. That's happening during, and it's better to do before. Joseph.
Like improved maritime technology.
Like, what would be your vocab term, dude?
Astrolabe.
And that's coming from where?
What? Oh, like the school. What's it called?
Prince Henry?
Yes.
There you go.
Navigation.
Okay. Prince Henry of Portugal will open the first navigation school in Europe, which will facilitate the improvement of skills of captains, technology, and better implementation of resources that will facilitate. Oh, I don't want to use that. Will facilitate it because I already used it. Implementation of resources that will allow long distance maritime exploration. Christopher Columbus. (1492). See, I finished that. Christopher Columbus's 1492 discovery of Hispaniola on the advancements of Prince Henry will open the Columbian Exchange. There you go. You're done. Ladies and gentlemen, the next thing you need to do is what? You need to just copy that first sentence that we started, correct? Yes? And then begin analyzing your documents that go with it. We feeling okay? Go, hurry. I don't want you blaming me. Parker, I hate you and I'm so jealous you're leaving.
What?
I'm so jealous that you weren't here before and now you're leaving. Are we excited?